This episode of The Young Turks, brought to you by Thrillist.
4 Turkish politicians have resigned after sex tapes have been released, and apparently these sex tapes feature them engaging in an extramarital affair. And of course, these tapes were released 1 month before the elections in Turkey, so they're believing that these are opposition politicians, right? So they believe that those that are in power right now in Turkey are the ones who secretly videotaped them during their rendezvous.
Now, the politicians, when asked about this, said,
"Sex? What are you talking about? Is that what? Man, that's crazy.
That's crazy.
Sex? Come on. Look, man, I'm engaged, so none of that.
That'll put me in
trouble. Think about that. That'll put me in trouble."
I love that. Put me in trouble. And by the way, that is what the politicians said. They were like, "What? What are you talking about?" "Oh no, we're married, you know, and they're a nationalist party, and they're also somewhat religious. Okay,
right.
So it's a combination of national and religious. So, and all of them were all 4 party leaders caught on. The problem is, it's on tape and it's on the internet. So they're like,
that's probably literally what they said.
and literally what they did. So now, was it the main party in Turkey that is in power now, that is likely to win the election, that is religious, and that is competing with this party that leaked those tapes? They say there's no proof of it. I say, come on.
Right.
Okay, come on. Of course. Now, this is not the first time that a sex tape has been leaked. The main secular party's head also was in a sex tape recently. He also accuses political opponents of leaking it. And I got news for you. It was.
Right.
Okay? Look, I'm not saying Ahmed did it or Mehmet did it. I don't know who did it, right? But all of these sex tapes that all wind up benefiting the party in power when they're leaked. Okay. But it's not, look, so they do those, whatever they do. But it's also on the guys not to be having all of these guys having sex affairs.
No. Here's the thing. Okay. I don't care what you're doing in your personal life, right? If you're having extramarital affairs, I personally don't agree with it, but that's your life. You do whatever you want. I definitely don't agree, you know, the opposing political party videotaping them without their knowledge. That's so wrong on so many different levels, right? But here's the thing. Here's where these 4 politicians went wrong. You've launched a political campaign, okay? You want to get elected. Just wait a little bit. Just wait a little bit, okay?
No,
during the campaign, don't engage in your extramarital affairs. Just keep it in your pants and don't do it.
Here's what they said.
Can't wait.
That's not how it works. This is how it works, okay? They said, you know, I don't know the specifics, but generally speaking, they send in a sexy woman, and this guy's drunk on power, and he came in from some village, and he's like, yeah, Türkiye en büyük, başka büyük yok. Oh, look at that. Oh, she's hot, right? And then next thing you know, he's in a room that he doesn't realize things are being recorded. Next thing you know, he's online. And here's what the other party takes advantage of, knowing that all men are full of it, okay? They're all full of crap, and it doesn't matter how much they pretend to be religious, doesn't matter how much they pretend to be nationalists, or how political they are. You show him a hot chick, especially a Turkish guy, he will have sex with her, okay?
Especially a Turkish guy.
Okay. And then, what do you have? Their career?
End of this.
Okay. And now, is it political? It's right before the election.
Exactly.
They released the tapes right before the election. You think they didn't have them before? You think it's just a wild coincidence that it's before the election? Of course not, right? So clearly this was a political head job, and it was apparently wildly successful.
It was, absolutely. So it turns out that the Justice and Development Party will probably serve a 3rd term.
And the thing is, they were going to win anyway. But if they get a bigger majority, then they can change the constitution, and that's the real problem. Because Turkey is very secular, but if you have a religious party changing the constitution to make it less secular, that could be really big trouble. And now we have a new sponsor, Thrillist. They're very cool because they hook you up with really interesting things going on in your town or any town you might be in that you don't know about.
Right. They also let you know where the best restaurants, bars, venues are.
Thrillist.com/TYT.